Ben Simmons, the Australian point guard phenom who made his long-awaited debut in 2017, took the NBA by storm with his Greek godlike athleticism, which was in remnants of LeBron and Magic. The Philadelphia 76ers became an instant powerhouse along with a healthy Joel Embiid and key role players filling in needed spots. The Philadelphia 76ers, entering the 2019-2020 season, were the perennial favorites to win the Eastern Conference. Just 40 games into the current season, Ben Simmons trade talks have dominated the NBA headlines, which include one trade that may actually make sense. My name is Vernon F. Miller, and this is Sports News Stream, where we provide the latest updated content in sports. Please, if you're new, hit that subscribe button so you can be notified on all of the new content that we upload. And if you're already subscribers, thank you. And please don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. We respond to all comments. With that being said, the Philadelphia 76ers are currently 26-16, which is 6th in the Eastern Conference as of January 16, 2020. Which is a far cry from what James Ennis III predicted earlier last year, stating we should walk into the finals. Well, that doesn't look like it's currently happening right now. Not only will they're looking like they're not walking into the finals, they're looking like they're stumbling along the way, with obviously the reigning and current Eastern Conference champions right now, the Milwaukee Bucks, playing at an all-time high. The surprising Miami Heat, who's becoming definitely a force to be reckoned with. The feisty Indiana Pacers and the nemesis Boston Celtics. So these are things that Philadelphia 76ers, I don't think, really took into account entering this current season. Now, with that being said, let's just dive into the situation. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers have been struggling with perimeter play with starting guards Ben Simmons and Josh Richardson. Currently, right now, Ben Simmons is averaging 15.2 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, and 8.4 assists, which is a solid number. No complaints on that side. However, there are things that the Philadelphia 76ers are definitely in need of if they want to become a serious team in the playoffs. Now, let's look at the good parts of what Ben Simmons can do and is presenting to the team. He's, like we said earlier on, he's an athletic guy, very athletic guy, 6'10", 230 pounds, very good defensive player, and is an excellent basketball player in the transition. Probably can run a 4-4, 4-5, 4-3, what have you, and can finish at the rim very strong. That's great, without a doubt. But I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers drafted Ben Simmons with their number one pick, knowing that he could pass the ball and finish strong at the rim. I think they were looking at an overall compass of what he could possibly do, as far as, maybe a generic LeBron / Magic all rolled up in one. But the problem with that is Ben Simmons refusing to shoot the ball at a perimeter level. And with that being said, that is putting a limit or a cap on his offense and the Philadelphia 76ers offense. Think about it. Ben Simmons can probably add on anywhere from 8 to 10 points probably per night with him just pulling up, hitting a 8 to 10 foot jumper, 12-foot jumper. He doesn't need, a lot of people are talking about three ball. He doesn't really need to focus on that right now. I mean, he can practice it, work on that in practice. But in my humble opinion, I think Ben Simmons needs to start focusing on finding 2 to 4 sweet spots on the floor, on the perimeter level, that he feels comfortable with shooting from and working on that. I can and get a quick bucket. And Ben Simmons is big enough where he can on the fast break, if he's on the fast break and he decides to go ahead and that defense decides to collapse in the collapse in the post, there's a problem. Because now he's going to turn around, he's going to be looking to pass the ball. And that is the issue with Ben Simmons, because now you got teams that are reading it, looking at this film, and now they're going ahead saying, okay, well, look, we'll double team Embiid, we'll go ahead, we'll guard everybody else, and we're going to collapse in the post, and we're going to make Ben Simmons shoot the ball. And unfortunately, he's spinning around like a top trying to find somebody to pass the ball to. And that's another reason that the Sixers offense sometimes is a little stale, because if you're sitting certain players down and a Tobias Harris starts going cold, a Josh Richardson starts acting streaky, who else on in Embiid is sitting down, Al Horford's looking a little old for his age right now. Who do you have that can take over the game? I mean, right now, Ben Simmons, next year, he'll be making about $34 million a year with no jump shot. Doesn't make any sense right now. So you have to sit there and say to yourself, maybe this trade does make sense with a D'Angelo Russell, who's averaging 23 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, and 6 assists, who can pull up and score from anywhere on the floor at any given time. And by him being able to pull up on the perimeter and squeeze at ease, it gives him options to blow by that defender, because that defender has to close out on D'Angelo Russell. He can't leave D'Angelo Russell open and think that he won't make that shot. And think that he won't attempt the shot. That's the difference between him. That's the difference between a lot of shooters and Ben Simmons. You got a lot of guys on the NBA floor who has no problem attempting a jump shot if you leave them open. Rondo Rajo, Patrick Beverly, you got a lot of point guards that have no problem if you leave them open, they're going to squeeze. If Draymond Green is squeezing, and he's not a three-point shooter at all. However, if you leave him open at the three-point line, at the top of the foul line, or anything of that nature, he's going to pull the trigger. Make, miss, win, lose, indifferent, it doesn't matter. He's going to pull the trigger. And with that being said, certain defenders will at the very least have to close out on Ben Simmons, or I'm sorry, Draymond Green, to go ahead and get the shot, or at least contest the shot. And with that being said, now Draymond has options to go by him. And this is where the cat is being presented on the Sixers offense right now. Because now you're doubling Embiid. And now, of course, that's wear and tear, because you got guys hanging all over him, hacking him, and it's producing wear and tear. And on top of that, now you have to say to yourself, all right, well, Ben Simmons may be devaluing himself, because if you look at it, right now, he's probably at the highest point of his value without adding a jump shot. You're at the highest point of his value without adding a jump shot. And next year, you're going to start making $34 million a year. He's been in the league about 3 years now, actively playing. He's got a new deal, 5-year deal, about $70 million. So now you're saying to yourself, okay, he isn't working on this jump shot. So if you decide to trade him, you're going to have to trade him now, because the further he goes on in his career with no jump shot, the less attractive he will become to certain teams, because you're getting a high contract. And of course, he's going to want to play that point guard position, because technically he looks like he can't play any other position. I mean, to me, he's a power forward, but he's null and void in the power forward position. So you have to go ahead and say, you got to start critiquing his jump shots now. He has to take care of this now for him to be of value to this team. So in my opinion, I think the Sixers should really think about maybe looking into a D'Angelo Russell trade. I mean, I know a lot of people may not want to hear it, but Ben Simmons should have been, at the very least right now, attempting jump shots. If he's not attempting jump shots right now, what is it going to take for him to attempt jump shots later on? And how long is that going to be something that's going to kick in and be effective? Then we got to also look at, the effect Brett Brown has played in this. Brett Brown as the head coach should have been having Ben Simmons at least attempt at the very least 5 to 6 jump shots a game. We're not talking 3-pointers, because that's a higher percentage of difficulty right there trying to shoot that. I mean, Steph Curry and James Harden, they're hours upon hours in the gym perfecting these 3-pointers. Now, a lot of people keep saying threes. I'm not really interested in Ben Simmons making 3-pointers. I'm really not. I just want him to go ahead and be able to take the top or the cap off the offense by just getting mid-range shots. If he can throw up mid-range shots, I think he can add anywhere from 8 to 10 points to his point total per night, which opens up the offense completely, which makes the Sixers an extremely dangerous team, which makes the Sixers a walk-in finalist for the NBA Finals. But if that doesn't work, if he doesn't start working on that, then it becomes a problem that the Sixers are going to definitely probably have no answers for. Because let's be honest, the Eastern Conference, that window for the Sixers for the Eastern Conference, that window is very small. Let's think about it. Kevin Durant will be back next year, and he's going to have some things to say about it. So that Eastern Conference is already tight right now. But when you start adding Kevin Durant, and God knows what other moves are being made, during this trade deadline coming up and during the off season next season, the Eastern Conference could be very congested. And for Ben Simmons to pretty much be starting from ground zero on his jump shot right now, it could definitely be a setback for the Sixers. So right now, I think the Sixers should definitely, at the very least, think about looking at a D'Angelo Russell. Now, don't get me wrong. Bringing on a D'Angelo Russell, you do give up defense and you do give up size because he's 6'4" compared to 6'10". But you also make it up in a way where D'Angelo Russell, he's going to be out of Embiid's way because he's a guard. He won't be down in the post. It won't be congested like that. Because sometimes when Ben Simmons is on the floor and you got maybe a Burke or a Nato on the floor, Ben is now sliding to the floor. So now technically you're Embiid's way offensively, and you're not doing nothing. So you're just a guy standing there at the 4 spot, hoping that a rebound bounces your way, or if they make the shot, you're right there to get the inbound pass to take the ball up the court, and hopefully you catch somebody slipping, where you can do a coast to coast and a dunk. Other than that, you're going to bring the ball up, pass it, and stand there and wait to see what happens and wait to see what materializes. And I just feel that for $34 million, the Sixers can do better. So with that being said, let me know in the comment box if you think this would be a good move for the Sixers, or should the Sixers just hold on to Ben Simmons and, wish for the best. And let me know if you think Brett Brown is the problem. With that being said, that's all we have for now.